Game 3 was different. Why?
Well, a couple of reasons. One, the Cavs hit their threes, and I wish I could give you more analysis than that, but it's really important for them to hit their threes, more important than maybe any other team in the league, because it just covers for all their sins. And they also played with more aggression defensively, but I kind of think that only kept up because they hit their threes. Because if they had been missing them, based on the way they played all year, they probably would have let their guard down. I also thought the Celtics were a little bit too nonchalant. They'd won 7 of the last 8 games, and they, I don't think, came in with the same intensity that you'd have to win with a road playoff game. They haven't been good on the road, so it's not really that big of a surprise, I guess. But I'm expecting the Cavs to not shoot as well from 3, and the Celtics to play with a lot more intensity tonight. I think tonight will probably be an extremely important game in the series.
Well, in terms of intensity, the Cavs absolutely ratcheted up. I mean, the numbers support what you said, Brian. 76% of Celtics shots were contested in Game 3 compared to 58% in the previous 2 games. I mean, isn't that – I know you say they need threes, but isn't that also want to? I mean, how does a team dip like that and then suddenly raise up as the Cavs did, best you can tell with this team?
I know. I'm telling you, Rich, it's the making of the threes affects their entire mood. So, let me just give you some evidence of that. In Game 2, for example, the Cavs were up by 8 points in the first half, and they were up by 12, and they allowed 2 free Celtics baskets. But they played a really good first half. The Celtics shot under 40%. The Cavs shot 7 of 14 and on threes in the first half of Game 2. They were really into the game, really, executing their defensive game plan. Second half, 3 of 17. They completely lay down defensively. The Celtics shoot 50%, and they win the game. I'm not saying it's all necessarily on just the making those shots, but it helps the rest of their team stay engaged. They have an ability to let go of the rope. And the Celtics, by the way, have an effect on that. They're not missing those threes in a vacuum. They contested really well in good spurts in those games in Boston. But, there's also been some defensive adjustments. I don't know how much X's and O's you really want to get into. But, one of the things that the Cavs really have noticed is that Jaylen Brown, when he has a good first quarter, he tends to have a good game offensively. When he doesn't, he doesn't. And so instead of having Kyle Korver or J.R. Smith on him, they put LeBron on him to start Game 3. And LeBron was very aggressive and into him. They changed the way that they have defended Al Horford, which is a really important factor in this. But all in all, I thought, Terry Rozier, who's from Cleveland, and I thought he was way too jacked up. I thought he was taking some shots out of sequence, and I thought that hurt the Celtics too. There's a lot of little things, but big picture, when you go 17 of 34 and you're the Cavs, their offense is so potent when they're making those shots, they're going to win those games.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.